Well, going everybody on YouTube, Kobe here with another Warframe weekly reset. Hope you guys have been having a wonderful week. Please remember to like the videos and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Right, so this week we're starting off with the new calendar feature, which is really a good addition with this 9099 stuff. So for today's missions, or for this week's missions, we have to kill 250 Skull enemies, and between the buffs we have between Eleanor, Quincy, and I believe Aoi. Comes on to all of these ones here, I'd say go for Amir. Go for Amir's because you get electricity on every weapon. It's easier to proc melee influence if you don't want to mod for electricity, so you could go ahead and med other elementals and spread those through influence. Right, and for the rewards, you have between a Exilus adapter for weapons or 2 of the Hex Arcanes. And then for the second mission is to kill 150 enemies with melees. Then you'll pick between a secondary adapter or another arcane, right? And coming up with the next mission here, we have to kill 20 Eximus, which is very easy. And then you have Arthur's and Eleanor's birthdays. And then for the rewards, you're going to have between a choice of a built Forma or a blue Archon shard. So whichever one you want, I'd say go for the Archon shard, seeing as they're slightly a little bit harder to get. And when it comes down to these buffs, we have with Aoi, casting abilities increase ability strength by 2%, and it lower your efficiency by 1% per unit of energy used for 5 seconds. So whenever you cast your abilities, you'll get added strength for the next ability cast, but you'll also lose efficiency for the next cast as well. On Amir, you get added electricity damage after your bullet jump, and for Arthur, you get a bunch of stuff to do with slide attacks, so more crit chance, more sliding speed, and yeah, so that's pretty much it for Arthur's buff. It's nothing too crazy if I'm being honest. And now moving over to the last reward, or the next challenge I should say, or the next mission, is to kill 500 enemies, and then we have to pick between a secondary adapter, another secondary adapter, or 2000 Kuva. Go for the adapter there. 2000 Kuva isn't worth it. And when it comes on to the next mission, it's to kill 500 Skull enemies with abilities. Then we have Quincy's birthday. Then for the next buffs, we have between Arthur, which gives you 20% melee crit chance. Then we have on damage, essentially for Eleanor, whenever you get damage, you do like a radiation version of Nourish, I guess. And for Aoi, you get 25% ability strength. So whichever one you need there. And then for the last one, we have primary arcane adapter or an aura forma. Aura formas are somewhat expensive, so I'd say go for that. Then we have to destroy 1 tank. And then for the last missions here, or the last choices, we have between 2 arcanes and a mod drop chance booster. And taking a look at the Nightwave. Also, guys, if I sound a little bit weird, I'm slightly under the weather, but yeah. So we have the normal weeklies, which are to kill 500 enemies, complete 50 missions, and kill 30 Eximus. Then for the other one, we have complete 7 or 8 Railjack missions, to complete 4 Ascension Halls, complete 3 Spy missions, find 6 caches in Sabotage missions, to place 1 decoration in your orbiter, and this has to be in your orbiter. It can't be in the back rooms or in the Drifter camp, right? And taking a look at the credit offerings, remember you could get yourself some catalysts, reactors, 19 extract, or Kuva here, and you could also get yourself some helmets if you need them for fashion framing purposes. Go ahead and grab them here. In regards to the mods, we have for the Harpak, the Krokadas, and the Akjakara, I believe. Yep. And when it comes on to aura farmers, we have loot detector, EMP amp, and rifle amp. None of these are really crazy. You could just go for loot detector if you want it. None of these are really, something special. And yeah. And we have a mod for the Tigress as well. And when it comes on to the weapons, we have the Pangolin sword and the Heat sword if you need any of these for MR fodder. And when it comes on to the Conclave weapons, we have for the Merlock, the Tetra, Atlas, and Mirage. Right. So now that's it for the Nightwave. Let's take a look at the Archon Hunt. This week we have Amar. Yeah, Amar. We have a spy mission, an interception, and a showdown for the red Archon shard. And for the Deviri circuit, for the normal path, we have Excalibur, Trinity, and Ember. All of these are frames that you get from boss fights. Excalibur is a normal pick for most people when it comes on to the starting of the game. Out of all of these, Trinity is really in a really good place right now. Ember is also pretty good. The best subsume would probably be Ember, I guess. But yeah, so when it comes on to the Steel Path version of this, it's actually one of the strongest weeks. So we have the Torrid, the Dual Toxicist, the Dual Ichor, the Miter Incarnate, and the Atomos. Out of all of these, the most go for ones are the Torrid and the Dual Toxicist. For me, my personal favorite are the Miter and the Dual Ichor. The Miter is a very slept on weapon. Uh, very slept on weapon. I'd say go for it, test it out, but mostly just go for the Torrid and the Dual Toxicist first. And if you already gotten all of those, scroll on over, get yourself some Kuva and some Rivens. Now checking out what Krathis has in the Dermazone. She has a secondary adapter, a companion Riven mod, Forma, 5000 Kuva, and a Riven mod for rifles. Go ahead and get yourself both of these Riven mods, especially if you could get yourself a Verglass Riven. Pretty good right now. And yeah. Now moving over to Teshin. For this week, Teshin actually has something great. He has a Umbra Forma blueprint, right? So go ahead and get yourself this. It's one of the only places you could actually get it for free. Outside of like watching dev streams and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, you can't even buy it in game. So you have to like watch dev streams and stuff like that. So go ahead and get yourself a Umbra Forma here. And to go ahead and move over to the Sanctum Anatomica, please remember to visit Bird 3 and go to Shiny Treasures to go ahead and get yourself a extra Archon shard. This week will be the yellow ones or the Amber Archon shards. So go ahead and get yourself that for 30,000 standing. And then after this, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this week's EDA. Right, moving over to Lloyd. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what the Elite Deep Archimedia has in store for us. So we have Survival, Mirror Defense, and Exterminate. So a pretty chill week when it comes on to missions. For the Survival, we have Life Support Towers are only activated once you kill 20 enemies within their range. Enemies will only take damage within 50 meters, and enemies also slowly regenerate health. In Mirror Defense, the system takes 2 times the amount of Phosphor glyphs to activate or to get their buff. The little dog guys pull the Warframes in whenever they're doing their charge-up attack, and the Eximus will sometimes be, or the Necromex will also sometimes be Eximus, right? And for the Exterminate, we have Fissures rip into the missions, causing the enemies to increase by 1 level for every 10 seconds. Killing an enemy leaves a dust cloud that slows down your movement speed, and the Shuffling Fragments will turn into Rupturing Fragments. They do a lot of damage, so please be careful, especially when you're slowed. They'll explode next to you and really mess you up, right? And for all of these personal modifiers, we have Frame Curse Syndrome. Essentially, you lose health whenever you cast an ability. Fractured Armor, you lose armor whenever you cast an ability. Gear Embargo, you won't have gear. And Energy Exhaustion, you lose energy once enemies are around you. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this week's Deep Archimedia and this week's reset. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Peace.